guys, it's Rachel, and today I am going to be showing you guys my palette collection video. Now, I know I've done just regular old makeup collection videos in the past, but I thought it would be kind of interesting for you guys if I did a more in-depth video just on my makeup palette. So hopefully you guys are sort of interested in that. But before we get started with this video, I just wanted to let you guys know, if you didn't know already, that I am currently having a huge New Year's giveaway. And if you haven't seen that video, I will link it down below. That giveaway is going to be running for the entire month of January. So if you haven't entered, make sure to go and do that if you want to win some awesome prizes. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into my palette collection. Okay, so I store my makeup palettes in these little letter organizers. I have two of them. And I found them at Walmart and Target, so you can get them either place. And it's just one slot, another slot, and then the back slot is actually divided in the middle. So there's a total of 4 spots to put palettes. So that's how I like to store them. I keep them out on my makeup desk area, and it's worked really, really well for me. I've had, well, I had one for probably about 2 to 3 years, and then I just recently got a second one, that I found at Target a couple days ago. So yeah, because I needed more space because I was having to store palettes in drawers because I didn't have enough room in my letter organizer. So now I have another one. So yeah, let's just get started with my palettes. I guess I'll start with the basic Naked palette. So of course I have the original Naked, and you guys have all seen this. My favorite / most used colors out of this palette would definitely be Buck, which is what I currently am using in my eyebrows, and Half Baked. I've hit pan on both of those shades, and I love them. I think they're gorgeous. Half Baked, actually, they're really pretty together, side note, but Half Baked, I feel like, is just such a gorgeous color on any skin tone. I like to use it on myself, and whenever I do other people's makeup, for like proms or just special events like that, I love using Half Baked on them because I just think it is a beautiful color. So I love that palette, of course. And then I have the Naked 2. And my most used colors out of this would definitely be Booty Call, Tease, which I used to use in my eyebrows, and YDK, which I've majorly hit pan on YDK. I'm just going to swatch it for you guys. It's just such a gorgeous brown shade. I mean, it's just beautiful. I feel like it would look good on, again, like any skin tone. It's just that perfect brown shade. My mom loves this color in her Naked palette. It is completely gone. So yeah, I just think it's a beautiful, beautiful color, and you could wear it with so many different things. You could dress it up, dress it down, if that makes sense, you know, make it dramatic and make it more natural, but I just think it's a gorgeous, shimmery, taupey brown, and I love it. Okay, next, of course, I have the Naked 3 palette to show you guys, and my favorite colors in this palette would be Dust, and then I love to mix, what is this, Buzz and Trick together, and then Factory and Liar together, and also Mugshot. I think they are just so pretty, and I'll give you a close-up of this palette. Whenever Buzz and Trick are mixed together, it just creates the most beautiful, shimmery color. I can't even describe it. You just have to try it for yourself. But I love this palette because I feel like it's so different than the other Naked palettes, being that it's so pink toned, and that's something that I really love about that, because normally I feel like I wouldn't gravitate towards pink eyeshadows, but since this is just more toned towards like the pinks and the rose golds, I feel like it makes it really easy and wearable for me. Next, I have the original Naked Basics palette, and this palette, whenever I first purchased it, I was like, I'm not really ever going to use this. It almost was just like, I'm going to buy it because it's coming out. I literally bought it the day it came out a couple years ago, and I've actually used it so much, so I'm so glad I proved myself wrong and that I've gotten good use out of this. You can see I use Naked 2 a lot. I use that for my eyebrows. I also love the black. The black in here is so black. And then I also love Faint for my eyebrows, and the other 3 colors are great highlighting shades. But I use this palette all the time, and I'm so glad I ended up purchasing it and using it, and I really want to get the second one, because if I love this one so much, I'm sure I'm going to love the second one as well. The next palette I have from Urban Decay is the Oz the Great and Powerful palette, and this is the Glinda palette. They also came out with another one for the Bad Witch. And this palette comes with 6 full-size Urban Decay eyeshadows, and I love this palette because I feel like it mixes such a good variety of bright and kind of bold colors with more neutral shades, so I love it so much. This shade right here is called Aura, and I don't think you can tell, but there's a pink side and a kind of a more blue tone side. I have the blue one swatched here because this is just one of my all-time favorite eyeshadows to wear. It's so gorgeous. It has this really nice iridescent finish that I just love to put it right in my inner corner and kind of bring it up to my crease. The way it looks in the light is insane. It's so beautiful. So that would definitely be my favorite shade out of the palette, but overall, I'm so happy I got this palette when it came out. Okay, my next and last Urban Decay palette I have is the, I believe, most recent Urban Decay Vice palette. And this palette, if you don't know, the Vice palettes come with 20 eyeshadow shades, and it has a really nice mix of bright, crazy shades and then more neutral shades. I've had this palette for a really long time, and I really have not used it very much. I'm wearing it today, but I really need to take the time to play with it a little bit more with like more of the brighter jewel toned shades, because really all I've used so far is the neutral ones, but the pigmentation is amazing. That same great Urban Decay quality that everybody loves is in this palette, and the price of this palette was $60, but when you think about it, that's 20 eyeshadows, and the naked palettes are like $55, and that's only 12, so it's a really great deal to get this palette or any of the Vice palettes whenever they come out. So I am really happy that I did purchase this. The next palette I have is a Too Faced palette, and this is actually a palette I've given away previously on my channel, and it is the Too Faced Boudoir Eyes palette. And this palette is a very purpley toned. It also has some grays in there and some beiges, but overall very purple toned. I haven't used this palette a ton recently just because I ran out of space in my letter organizer, and so I had to kind of put it in one of my drawers, so you know, out of sight, out of mind. But now that I have another letter organizer to put more palettes in, I have set this one back out, so hopefully I will start reaching for it more often. So I can't wait to kind of fall back in love with this palette because I just remember loving it so much a while back. Next palette I have is my Inglot palette, and if y'all don't know what Inglot is, basically Inglot is just a makeup company, but they have this system called the Freedom System where you can kind of create your own palette. It's like Build-A-Bear but for makeup. So you can pick how many eyeshadows you want in your palette, and then you can pick the colors you want to have in it. So I made this at IMATS a couple years back, and these are just the shades I chose. I don't know the names of them because Inglot's not very good with names. I do numbers and I don't know the numbers, but you can just see the colors there. They are so incredibly pigmented, so buttery and smooth, and I love them so much. And the packaging for Inglot is just super cool as well. It's just like magnetic. This year I really want to make a concealer palette at Inglot, and then I also want to make like another eyeshadow palette because I love this one so much. So I can't wait to do that at IMATS this year. Inglot I feel is pretty reasonably priced, especially at IMATS. Their prices are amazing, but even if you have to buy it, you know, just off of the website or in a Inglot store, the prices still are not too bad. Okay, the next palette I have is actually not an eyeshadow palette. It is a blush and bronzer palette, and it is the Nars Guy Borden palette. And this came out a little over a year ago. It was right before the holiday season last year, 2013. And I love this palette. I use it every time I do my makeup because I love the highlighter, and I use the highlighter every day. So it comes with a highlighter, a bronzer, and then 4 blushes. I don't know the names of really any of them. I know that the bronzer is Laguna, and I know there's Orgasm and Deep Throat blush in here. But other than that, the other 3 I am not sure of. But I love this palette. It was so worth the money, especially when you consider the price of Nars blushes. To get 6 of their like blush, bronzer, highlighter products in one palette, it was a really good deal. So I'm so happy I got this, because I know right when I first started making YouTube videos is when Nars came out with, I think it was called the Dan Mari palette, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So whenever I saw that this was coming out, I was like, I have to get it, because I regretted so much not getting the Dan Mari palette. So I jumped on the bandwagon early and I got this palette, and I'm in love. Alright, my last 2 palettes are the Lorac Pro palettes. So I have the original one here, and I got this pretty soon after it first came out. Obviously you guys have seen this, but I'll just show you the colors. I really do like this palette, but if I had to choose between the 2, I would definitely say that the Lorac Pro 2 palette would be more my style. It's more cool toned, and it just has more colors in it that I would be more likely to use. My best friend Maddie actually got this for me for my birthday this year, so shout out to you. But I absolutely love the colors in the second one so much more than the first one. Not that I don't love the first one as well, but like I said, if I had to choose, I would most definitely choose this one. I love the navy shade and the green and the rose, and I just think these colors are absolutely beautiful. And I am just in love with this palette. And I love the packaging on these. It does get dirty, but I just love how thin and sleek it is. And the Lorac eyeshadows are just so buttery and amazing, and I'm obsessed. Alright guys, so those are all of the makeup palettes I have to show you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And as always, make sure to subscribe if you have not already. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.